Good evening and welcome to the Scarred Man's Dead Man's Rust campaign, hosted by Red Scar Publishing and Friends. We're back with session 4. We've been having lots of fun across the previous sessions as we delve into this epic campaign from Onyx Path Publishing and their epic Scarred Land setting. I'm Mark, I'm here as the GM. I'm going to hand off to Paco here on my left as I once again resort the Twitter handles.
Hello, I am Paco. I am the chief ruler of GMS Magazine and Mindscape Publishing. You can find me on Twitter, GMS Magazine. Just two things, by the way, well, three things. One thing, I have a very crazy puppy doing all sorts of noises. Sorry about that. Secondly, we are doing some celebrations in town because it's something called fires. So if you hear banging and crackers and stuff like that, nothing sinister. It's just that people go a bit, like loopy at this time of the year, and flowers are trying to kill me, and I have a huge amount of hay fever. Other than that, I play Pacandra, which is a very youthful and completely devoid of boundaries manticore that loves animals. And that's me. And that's my dog destroying my studio.
Handing over to Alex, who's to my right as I look at the screen.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm the resident GM over on the Red Sky Twitch channel. I'm also one of the social media gremlins at Red Sky. You can find me on Twitter at Liberty Otter, or you can follow Red Sky Gaming, funnily enough, at Red Sky Gaming on Twitter. And I'm playing Nevan, the giant ball of fun and life of the party in a previous life. I'm a hollowed legionnaire. I'm a soul bound into a suit of armour with all sense of sarcasm and comic titan beaten out of him very early on, slowly, like an iceberg, continuing on. I'm a second level paladin currently, and I can't actually vocalise how angry he's gotten. I don't have the words, and neither does he, which is great.
Gone from stern to internally raging.
Full angry, tired dad vibes, just like.
And just below me we have Liz.
Hi everyone, I am Liz. I am the owner of Angry Hamster Publishing. You can find me on Twitter at Angry Hamster RPG. And I am playing Viv, Nevin's traveling companion and assistant, protege.
Thorn in my side, causing several ulcers.
And so far, Viv has been coming to terms with how naive she is to the world and learning how to, strike out on her own and stand on her own 2 feet. And by the way, I'm playing an Ashasi monk at the moment. Freudian slip.
And last, very much not least, is over to Terry.
Hi everyone, I'm Terry Morn. I'm a freelance illustrator and game arts and animation lecturer from Plymouth, UK. And I'm playing Dovith, the Drendali Bard. Now, Drendalis are Scarland's answer to Dark Elves, although he doesn't kind of fit in with the crowd, so he's kind of taking it off on his own. He's trying to find his place in the world and actually really searching for his motivation in this scene at the moment.
Like I say, this is welcome back to our 4th session. We've managed to kind of move the group away from Leone, where they were enjoying the Knights of Chronicles way back at the start of the campaign. They're now on their journey on a boat, heading down, or upriver I should say, but down into the kind of heart of Gelspad, as far as they can on their journey. You are heading along Clarity Creek on the riverboat, the Clearwater, under the fine captaincy of Captain Harmon. Had a bit of a tragic tale from last session where Bakandra attempted to find a new travelling companion, only to sadly see that companion become a feast for a small group of creatures that you couldn't really discern who they were.
I still tried to kill them, though. I didn't manage, but I did have a good go at it.
You certainly did. So I think we left the session. We moved away from the danger, just in case there were any other creatures in and around either side of the river. So you've headed back upriver, I guess, with the flow of the water, which put a little bit of time back onto your travel. Drodoki, the further you get from Leone, the more grumbling Drodoki, Bronzebeard, who is the bard, the legendary dwarf bard they were escorting back to the Broadreach horizon. He seems to grumble more and more the further you get from Leone. And he seems to lose a certain amount of sprightliness as well. Seems to kind of show his years the more distance you get from Leone. Almost as if the energy he held on to at Leone is kind of just slowly draining away from him the further you get from the Knight of Chronicles and the town.
He's losing his festival buzz, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it feels that way. At least he's admitted to himself that he's heading back for retirement, so perhaps is or isn't looking forward to it, or maybe also already settling into the role.
Is the catapult still taking up most of the upper deck, or is that left yet?
Well, we'll speak to our resident engineer in training. Has it been stowed, or?
I mean, if he really wants to make the ship less stable and less safe by putting the ship's main weaponry below decks.
No, it's a genuine thirst for knowledge of in the intervening days, has it been taken down to the workshop for improvements?
Can you improve on perfection? No. I mean, I think it's pretty done. I mean, are there improvements? I ask my dwarven friends. Can we improve upon this design?
Well, I mean, given some time, we could certainly enlarge it and make it more accurate, I guess. Maybe build some runes into the trebuchet itself to have a more permanent effect.
Yeah, let's do that.
Well, I'd highly recommend, if you'd like to, that you return with us to Burrock Torn if you'd like to. We've got other work to undertake, but we could certainly enjoy a new apprentice under our wing.
Oh, I'll have to think about that. But thank you for the offer. For Nara, I guess we can just keep it on deck then, because I mean, it is protection for the ship. But thank you for the offer. I'm not sure I can take you up on that right now, because I have to fulfill the two promises that I've made to see your fellow dwarf to his home, and also to help the Hollow Legionnaires. But if there's still an apprentice space for me when I'm done, I might be interested.
Well, look, you're always welcome, Yorktorn. We'll now consider you a friend of the dwarves, and like I say, the offer of the apprenticeship is genuine. If you find yourself in and around our city, then certainly seek us out.
Cool.
But of course, we can't teach you the runing magic. That's the deepest and most powerful of our species' secrets.
I understand. Viv doesn't know how to end the conversation, so she just kind of smiles, and she just turns. She just slowly walks away.
How does a snake smile? It's
Like this.
just more teeth.
With
Just-
very
Yes.
sharp teeth.
It's a sure her smile is a little psychopathic.
You can tell it's a happy smile. Why? Because the eyes are getting wider.
And her nostrils have become slits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of late morning. You've drifted away for the night quite quietly. Captain Harmon set anchor a mile or two back down river. Got the crew up nice and early and made some headway back up river. You've passed the sad demise of the boar from last night. And you're making your way back along Clarity Creek. Anybody do anything in particular? It's
If I may, Mark, I mean, I obviously wasn't on deck when the zombies were spotted, if that's what we're calling them. So I'm ruminating on that and kind of asking around if kind of, and then approach Nevin to say if because obviously not being resident within the area, whether this is a reoccurring thing or whether this could potentially have something to do with the situation that he's investigating currently. If he has any insight into that.
There are many possibilities. There are not enough to draw any conclusions. Whether they were bandits or members of the undead at this point makes very little difference, although it is something to be aware of as we move on.
The only thing that concerns me is whether this is a localized issue or whether this may be something we need to be mindful of when we actually leave the boat.
One should always be mindful.
More so than normal. Right? This is what I'm thinking. Whether there's any kind of precautions we could potentially take during nighttime and kind of encampments and stuff like that, as to kind of preventing or being surprised by these kind of denizens.
Well, my preference would be until we learn that we are out of range of similar roaming parties or hordes. Whilst we're on land, we avoid camping too near main roads, and we don't light fires. Okay. But that is a level of discomfort that I don't think some of the travelling company will.
I have to commend you on your actions, because often it's been my experience in the past that someone who's kind of carries a sword is often kind of too ready to use it, and obviously you've used logic there and kind of kept us safe aboard the ship and moved the ship on. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I do appreciate the logic that you've used in this situation, rather than kind of putting anyone directly in danger. For no specific
the wisdom
reason.
of battle is knowing when to fight.
Thank you, Nevin. It is appreciated, certainly from my point of view. I don't necessarily want to get involved in any kind of fracas unless I absolutely have to. And with that, I'll bid you good day. Thank you for your time. I'll move back down the ship then and kind of find something to do.
Jodoki's yeah, go on, sorry.
Can I ask, if not the captain, the first mate or someone, because I've heard mentions whilst everyone else was oohing and ahhing over the catapult of this is Elven territory. Can I ask if roaming bands of undead are the norm in this area of, or if they've heard things recently relating to that, or was that a surprise to them?
It's a little bit of a surprise. I've not seen bands of roaming undead, and the elves of the Ganges tend to destroy them where they find them.
Mm-hmm.
The only real issue that elves have are with species that they consider Titan spawn.
Mm-hmm.
So the Gorgons and numerous other species. So they tend to trap or destroy outright those and undead, that kind of unnatural incursion to the Ganges. But unless you damage the forest itself, or you cause death or destruction amongst the Ganges, then they tend to leave.
Yeah.
They're ever watchful. So yeah, it's.
But what Titan spawn would construct some kind of mechanism to destroy the forest, whilst travelling through it internally, just kind of.
I believe I did mention this as it was fired or before it was fired.
But like so many good things, it's worth repeating.
Yeah, we are actually talking about mechanized tree felling here, aren't we?
Yes. Although that's partly why my crew went to try and remove the scars from the earth of the impact.
Yes.
But yeah. And who knows? Maybe it was the catapult that disturbed those creatures last night.
Most likely. Hopefully.
Who knows? But yeah, I'm sure we'll encounter the elves at some point. If not here, then at the trading post. Once we reach it in a few days. Unfortunately, it's going to be a quiet. Hopefully, and he raps on the rail of the ship. Hopefully, touch wood, it's going to stay quite uneventful until then. But at least once we're at the trading post, we can speak to. There are always elves in and out of the trading post. We can speak to them. I can certainly vouch on your behalf for some sort of token that will allow you to travel through the Ganges. At least undisturbed by the elves anyway. Some sort of symbol of friendship or safe passage.
That would be ideal. I appreciate it.
Yeah, they're good guardians of the wood at the end of the day. Just harsh on those who treat it unkindly.
Indeed. In the wake of what was, few can blame them. I will leave you to your duties. Thank you again.
Most welcome. Feel free to ask any questions you have, and I'll try and answer them to my best ability.
Just in his head, Nevin stores that under, okay, people I can send Kakandra and Viv to.
To stop them annoying me.
Don't feel like you need to touch me.
It's a fairly uneventful day on the river. You see, at some point after midday, you do see a canoe on the opposite side of the river, a rather slender canoe, being gently paddled down, and the two crew in wave to you as they drift on by. You don't see any other traders on the river. It's quite clear. It's a nice hot day. I still didn't look up the calendar for Gauspad, although I know I have it somewhere. It's a nice hot sunny afternoon. The water's really warm, to the point that some of the crew on their break take a swim to cool off. And you're just really kind of, as long as you're not launching rocks in the catapult or endangering any crew members, you're kind of left to your own devices, really. Meals are taken up on deck in the air. Flies are buzzing around. You can see birds flitting in amongst the trees of the creek. And it drifts on in towards evening, unless anybody's doing anything out of the ordinary. So you settle into your evening routine. Drodoki tries to shake himself out of whatever slump he seems to be in away from Leone, and offers to tell you all a tale. As the lanterns are hung at the fore and aft of the ship, or the riverboat, I should say. So you're welcome to sit in and listen. Some of the crew on their rotation do. Gets to the point where the captain's like, I need to drop anchor anyway, so they drop anchor and set up a bit of supper and sit around and listen to one or two of Drodoki's tales. He seems almost back into the spirit as he's telling the tale. He seems almost get back into the same sort of spirits as he had at Leone, but it seems to have lost a little bit of an edge or a sheen to his tales. Don't seem energetic, vibrant, or enthralling, perhaps.
Just for my own amusement, I'm going to use minor illusion whilst he's doing his story, to kind of create illusory kind of flies or midges. So as he's kind of talking, he's kind of distracted by the flies and midges, which kind of kills the flow slightly.
Even more, yeah.
just my own amusement.
Yeah, it does serve to distract him even more. Almost to the point where you feel like it's maybe dragging him back towards his, well, you guess his fatigue or depression or whatever it seems to be. Yeah, and the captain at some point kind of whispers to you, I thought this is the legendary Drodoki. He's meant to be epically inspiring with his song and tale.
Well, everybody has their highs and their lows. But don't worry. I mean, when he's finished his bits and pieces, maybe I could be kind of encouraged to kind of do a tale or two for you guys. I mean, I've got some something a bit more of a spooky nature, if you prefer, rather than kind of epic, kind of slightly bland, heroic things. Something with a bit more suspense and possibly, maybe a whodunit or something like that, where you can kind of work out while I'm telling the tale who actually, did the deadly deed, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's a possibility. Or if you prefer something a bit more kind of flamboyant, we can do some kind of card tricks or kind of sleight of hand magic if that's what the crew's into. But ask around. I'm happy to kind of wade in if the old fella's not feeling on top of his game at the moment.
That would be absolutely amazing. Yeah, if you could kind of show us some illusion or tricks, some bona fide magic, that would be amazing.
So when he's just kind of he's winding up, he's just about to finish, I'll applaud and say, "Thank you very much. What a wonderful story," and all this kind of stuff, and kind of give him a pat on the back and kind of send him up. To which point I will get out my deck of cards and I'll start doing some illusionary magic, and I'll use a bit of prestidigitation with noises and kind of flashes of light and that kind of stuff, just kind of jazz it up a bit, and I'll do some sleight of hand magic, possibly. I'll do the old disappearing coin behind the ears, and then I'll work up to an illusory piece where I kind of use my crystal ball to kind of conjure images in it, and then kind of do a bit of floaty kind of juggling with the crystal ball, and kind of tell a story while I'm doing that about maidens locked in castles and kind of vampires and things like that,
Yeah.
And then kind of round the whole thing off with a trick with a glass and a bottle and a glass, and maybe even dig out my fez and do the disappearance. Okay, so yeah. That's where I'm going to do with that. It's not my intent to kind of upstage him at all. That's not what I'm doing, but I kind of feel that I need to make my presence known. I need to kind of be. I feel at the moment within the crew and with everything that's happening, and everybody kind of has their skills and they do their things, and I kind of feel since we got on the boat at a bit of a loose end, I just feel out of my element on the water. So it's my attempt to kind of give gravitas to the journey and kind of almost rate myself into kind of why am I here? What am I doing? What's my motivation? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm also the slight undertone of that is well is to kind of take Paco's mind off Bori. So there'll be no mention of kind of woodland creatures or anything like that during the show. To say, but it's kind of just to distract Pacandra
Okay.
in terms of kind of taking mind of past events.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, give me a performance check anyway, just to see how you.
I will indeed. Let's have a look here. So we're looking at performance. Let's just click on that. Is it rolling?
I've had to close the dice roller for a moment. It will reshuffled again.
Hang on. Do I need to click that again then?
No, that's a 10.
Yeah, it's not very good.
10 total.
It's a 6 result. It's a 10 total because he's very good at it.
So it's average. It's average. Maybe kind of the whole situation with Bori is kind of still on the back of my mind as well.
Well, you don't.
Yeah.
Is it a you don't want to upstage him with the midges?
Yeah, and you get the feeling that on the back of Dradoki's damp performance, it was a tough act to follow in terms of lifting people's spirits. But
maybe I meant weird like one too many times.
Maybe the dark and gloomy tale was the wrong choice to lift people's spirits as well. Gothic Tale of Horror didn't quite have the.
Yeah, maybe Gothic Horror after we just spotted some zombies wasn't the best idea either.
And none of them survived.
Ghoul. Not ghoul. No, not ghoul. Not.
The crew are certainly really appreciative of your efforts.
Yeah.
Between yourselves.
We'll try again.
Say again?
Maybe it's an option for everybody. I did try, Picanda. I really did. I wanted to cheer you up, and it just, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I appreciate it. I may at some point when I feel less teary about it, perhaps sing my own song about Bori. I have a tune in my head. Hopefully one day you will help me with the harmonics. You're muted.
I'm not a singer naturally, but certainly if we can come up with some kind of lathe or ballad to Bori, then I believe that that is something that does need to happen during the course of our time together.
Just today's it's not a good day for it. Not yet. It's too soon. Sorry.
You can all quite see as well that actually, as you've gone up to perform, Dovith, Dradoki's gone from downbeat to stony faced. Yeah, almost as if perhaps he does feel that you're trying to upstage him, although you weren't. Yeah.
Can I go speak to Dradoki?
Certainly, yeah.
So I bring a spoon, a wooden spoon, and I give it to him because that's the tradition, right? With pass him the spoon.
Okay. Oh, is this my prize for my performance? Is it?
Yeah, that's my one eating spoon.
Thanks, I guess.
You're welcome. So, friend, pat him on the back.
Awkwardly.
Yes.
Oh no, it's on the top of the head.
Yeah, I go for the head and then my hand moves down to the back and just pats him on the back.
Yeah. You can feel he's quite awkwardly receiving that as well. He's kind of quite tense underneath the pat.
So I've noticed that you're not looking too happy there. And sometimes when we have bad feelings in our hearts, it's good to speak to other people about those feelings. And I know that from firsthand experience because I spent the first 18 years of my life not being able to express my feelings to anyone with any living soul. So now that I'm with other people, I understand the meaning of that, which is good. So how's it going? That was a cool story.
You think?
Yeah, you're the most impressive storyteller I've ever heard.
Well, I thought the tale of the gods butchering Mormo might go down quite well, but apparently it wasn't well received.
Well, I mean, you got to play to your audience, like sailors, so maybe like a body tale of maidens and mermen and water. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I just, I'm just feeling worn. I guess worn, and it's partly why I'm heading back home. Um, I'm just tired, and maybe that's coming across on my performance when it wouldn't usually.
I mean, like you don't have to perform. Like I've read a lot of books and I've read a lot of books about people retiring. And I mean, like if you don't want to perform anymore, just like go drink an ale in the sun, take a swim. I don't know, braid your beard a different way.
Well, perhaps I won't drink a few ales and then go swim. That might not be a good idea. But yeah, I'll certainly. I appreciate it. Thanks, Vivian. I certainly think more on what you said.
Yeah, you've
And
worked hard your whole life. Enjoy.
well, there's a lot to be said there for yourself as well. You still have your whole life ahead of you, so remembering to enjoy it as you go.
I'm trying. That's why I made friends with Bacandra. They're like the person who I know who's ever had like the most fun ever. So I think they're going to teach me pretty good.
Yeah, just and as much as it seems like you perhaps irk each other, remember that Nevin can keep you grounded in amongst all that.
Oh yeah. Like even if I don't want to be grounded. That's like I've been grounded a few times where he told me that I was grounded.
Yeah, I think maybe took that a bit too literally to how I meant it, but um,
Oh no, I metaphor also. I was
oh,
just
okay.
making it I was making a joke. Um but I am not a bard.
Okay.
Um I okay. I pat him
No,
on
it's
the
all good. It's
shoulder.
all good. I'm getting your sense of humour slowly. I've not
But
I've not journeyed
hmm.
with too many Asathi myself, so
Oh no, I from what I've read, they're all pretty awesome. You really shouldn't judge them on me.
do you know? I think Vivian, we perhaps need a drink together and a longer chat. I'm really appreciating this.
Oh, I just started drinking in that town. I like it. Let's go. Oh, I bet the dwarves have some really good ale. I've read that too.
I know they do.
Yes. Okay. I'll go have a drink
If there's
with him and
something
the
I can
other.
do well, it's definitely drink.
Then I'm learning from the master.
And you definitely put a smile back on his face
Cool.
for the time
I
being.
mean, technically, Nevin should appreciate this because I'm learning to drink from someone highly experienced. So I should be making my mentor proud right now.
I'm appreciating it's gone from kind of I'm breaking away, Nevin, to well, Nevin, I'm rebelling in accordance to the framework you gave me. Love it.
I was always rebelling to the framework you gave me. How did we start to end up with the boulder?
Well, Vivin and Dradoki head off in search of some spirits, some alcohol.
Given what Vivian usually does when spirits are involved, I'm glad I got corrected.
Perhaps about an hour later, there's some wild singing, completely out of tune from wherever you guys have decided to imbibe your alcohol. The Burok Torn dwarves who are there Dradoki's a wood dwarf, whereas the Burrock Torn dwarves live underground in their dwarven stronghold. But they still have, a fair amount in common. Still kind of kindred spirits at a certain level. And if you're okay with it, they join in at some point as well.
For sure, they're my newfound friends as well, and Viv is like, this is great. I'm feeling it. I'm so much more charismatic when I'm drinking. I'm 100% sure this is true now. Like, just enjoying yourself, basically.
Yeah, especially amongst your engineer friends now, and just raising Dradoki spirits in general by drinking spirits. Is anybody else doing anything else? You can hear the dwarves and Vivian slowly get more raucous.
Nevin will settle into his nightly routine of walking the perimeter of the ship, and when he walks over the part where the raucous drinking is happening, his ears will just twitch up, waiting for the sound of a certain manticore and be eternally surprised that there isn't one.
I just go to you, actually, to Nevin, say, Nevin, do you mind if we just stay quiet for a bit? It's okay. Don't answer me now. Just think about it. I'm not gonna say anything for a while. I'm just gonna be here, quiet, silent, thinking about Bori and the life that we could have had, and the kind of song that I want to write for him. And maybe you can help me with the song. I know that you have a singer in you somewhere. So, but I'm not. Just don't say anything. Okay, I won't say anything either. And I just keep going and going and going for 10 minutes.
Sandra, come have a drink for Bori. You hear from below deck.
And I shout out, but if I have a drink, I will probably start singing and crying at the same time.
But you have such a beautiful voice.
Nev, do you mind if I leave you here?
Nevan.
Sorry, Nevan.
Nevan.
Nevan, gonna call you that. Can I? Do you mind if I leave you here?
Nev is a pot. Nevan is me.
I can think of a lot of similarities. Anyway, you don't mind me going, right? You don't mind, right? You don't, right? You don't you? Don't? Yes?
You are in your own keeping.
I know, but we were here alone, quiet with each other, saying nothing at all.
Silently.
Now I'm going to leave you alone here.
Yes.
Just that you say nothing, and that could be very boring. I don't want you to be bored ever.
I will keep myself busy hearing all.
Okay. See you later.